Shalom, brothers and sisters. So I thought I'd take a moment and give you some interesting facts about what life is like in North Korea. Why North Korea? We pray for them in this ministry. We send Bibles and food parcels to them every now and then as well. It is the most persecuted place on the planet Earth for Christians. It is hectic. So give you all a break for a second about me just talking about Israel the whole time. Let me just give you some facts about North Korea to give you a glimpse into their lives. So, bizarre laws from North Korea, I thought would be a fun one to share with you. North Koreans must idolize their leader. Anything that disrespects the Kim family, the government, or the politicians of North Korea is considered blasphemy and can be met with severe punishment. Blasphemy. Due to financial restraints, the requirements of a special permit, and so on, very few citizens in North Korea own or drive cars. Most rely on public transport and bicycles. Vehicles, pretty much something you'll never have. This all is going to sound to you a lot like the world they're crafting under the beast system for everybody that's left in their 15-minute cities. Since the death of North Korean President Kim Il-sung in 1994, June the 8th has become a day of mourning. People are restricted from activities on this day, including drinking alcohol. Smiling or talking loudly on June the 8th is strictly prohibited and considered disrespectful to the deceased president. Dance is considered to represent joy and is prohibited on June the 8th. Anyone who doesn't respect these rules can be severely punished or imprisoned. Smiling on that day and you go to prison. Falling asleep. This one is ridiculous. Falling asleep while the chief speaks can be big trouble. The North Korean defense minister, Yong-Chol, was reportedly executed. Are you ready for this? With an anti-aircraft gun for having fallen asleep during one of Kim Jong-un's events, and it was considered extremely disrespectful. They didn't shoot him with a firing squad. They took him out in front of everyone and shot him with an anti-aircraft gun. They misted him for falling asleep. North Korea holds elections to choose the party leaders who will rule the country. However, there is only one candidate, so voters don't need to tick a box. They need to pick up the ballot with Kim Jong-un's name on it and drop it in the box. That's their voting system. Kim Jong-un, box. And you better do it, otherwise it's disloyalty and you go to prison. Consuming marijuana is forbidden in most countries around the world. However, there are no laws that punish the trade and consumption of the drug in North Korea. Because while they keep you drugged and peaceful, you can take anything they're doing to you and not complain too much. Clever, right? When North Koreans mention the name of their leader, they always have to prefix it with an adjective that exalts him, such as Dear Kim or Supreme Kim. Can't wait till he meets Jesus and discovers that that's not going to fly. International calls are forbidden. The act is considered a crime punishable by death, as was the fate of a factory owner caught making an international call from his basement in 2007. He was executed by firing squad in front of 150,000 people to make sure everybody understands no international phone calls. The use of some types of clothing is restricted in North Korea. Skinny jeans, for example, is considered a symbol of capitalism and people are not allowed to wear them. Wear them, go to jail. North Koreans are forbidden to flee or travel abroad without permission. Unless you have been given permission, you are not allowed to spend a holiday or even a weekend in neighboring South Korea. The supervision of tourists, if you decide to go, is taken very seriously. People who visit the country are accompanied by guides and officials and must adhere to specific rules of conduct. Every instruction given to them must be rigorously followed. It's to make sure you don't smuggle in Bibles or any contraband. North Korea is one of the only countries in the world where internet access is strictly prohibited. Only in some professions is it possible to access websites, and then only under government supervision. Someone standing behind your shoulder, watching and recording. Choice of career is not down to an individual citizen at all. It's the government that chooses people's professions. This doesn't depend on the needs of the person, but the needs of the country. Defectors have said that the best jobs are given to the children of the wealthy and the powerful. The penalty for those who don't comply with this law: concentration camp and forced labor. It is prohibited for women in North Korea to wear trousers until 2009. The government decided to lift the ban and allow women to wear neat trousers, but the influence of capitalist fashion from South Korea and the West led to a further crackdown, and they have returned to traditional rules: no trousers. Have you noticed North Koreans pretty much all have the same haircut? When Kim Jong-un took office in 2013, he introduced a list of haircuts that would be allowed in the country. So you can't just pop down like I did now and quickly have a haircut. No. You will have the haircut that the supreme leader has said you can have. North Koreans can't choose where to live. The government owns all the property in the state and assigns housing to citizens. When a fire breaks out, the first thing citizens must do, you're not going to believe me, but this is true, is save the pictures of North Korean political leaders. Only then can they save their belongings or their lives. A mother of two was arrested in 2020 for saving her 2 children, but leaving behind the portraits of Kim Tu-sung and Kim Jong-il when the fire broke out in her home. So because she saved her kids and not the portraits, she was arrested. Probably in a concentration camp right now. You can't make this up. North Korea is very nationalistic, so watching foreign movies or listening to foreign music is considered a crime. The sentence is determined according to the place of origin. For example, anyone who watches a South Korean movie will face 15 years of correctional labor, while those distributing the materials will be executed. Hey? Another thing not allowed in North Korea is to have the same name as the current president. The government made everyone named Kim Jong-un change their name in 2014. You were born with that name, but because he has that name, when he starts ruling, you change your name immediately. North Koreans work 6 days a week, and the average person works almost 7 hours of overtime each week, meaning they get very little time off, and then in the middle of parades they fall asleep and then wake up to be taken out on the field and shot with an anti-aircraft gun. You see how crazy this is? Any tourist visiting North Korea is subject to very meticulous inspection. Phones, cameras, and computers are seized as soon as they cross the border and only returned after they leave the country. So don't think you're going to go in and take photos or selfies or make a video for your channel or anything while you're in there. It ain't happening. Western religious practices and ideologies are forbidden in the country. There have been cases of public executions of people who have distributed copies of the Bible to North Korean citizens. If only you realized it wasn't a Western religion. In 2014, American Jeffrey Fell was imprisoned for 5 months because he forgot a Bible in the bathroom of a restaurant. Although there are churches in the country, they are all controlled by the regime. Left his Bible in the bathroom, 5 months in prison, and he's an American. Open Doors USA reported that for Christians in North Korea, life is a constant cauldron of pressure, and capture or death is one mistake away. Christians are considered a hostile class in the system in which people derive status from loyalty to the state and its leadership. Christians are regarded as the lowest in society and constantly vulnerable and in danger. Christian materials, including Bibles, are leftovers from the early 20th century up to World War II, and these are recycled and passed between believers where no one can see them. 50,000 to 70,000 Christians are in jail and forced labor for their faith as of 2023 beginning. And people want to tell me, there's no persecution, it's nothing worth talking about. What are you talking about? Things are going great. Tell that to the North Korean believers of Jesus Christ, the Messiah. Brothers and sisters are being tortured, martyred, conspired against, killed all the time, every day, more and more by the hour, as the devil ramps up the hatred and the murderous intent against everybody that represents a path towards the truth, the Jews and the Christians. And for those of you that are going to get excited and say, but the Jews don't have Jesus, why the Jews? The Jews represent an eternal promise God made with them that he will fulfill. And if you grab an Old Testament, a Tanakh, or you go through their teachings, your eyes will open up to Jesus Christ, because Jesus assigned himself all over the book. He is the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Without him, nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. Pray for our brothers and sisters who are suffering as martyrs and struggling to just survive, while they also eagerly await our departure and our blessed hope. God bless. Keep looking up. Shalom.